plane. Well, no one knows. Unidentified flying objects have been spotted by Navy pilots, and nobody knows where they're coming from. Now, people are wondering if the truth is really out there. For more on this, I'm joined by Chris Rutkowski. He is a science writer and UFO specialist. He is in Winnipeg today. Chris, a lot of people in our newsroom are talking about this chat today. So what do you make of these sightings that these Navy pilots are talking about?
Well, they're fascinating stories. First of all, we've had reports from pilots quite a few times over the years. What's interesting is that these are fairly recent, about 5 years ago, and that they've reported seeing things zipping around that they couldn't explain. Now, we are wondering, for example, where the Air Force pilots are in all of this. And also that there was one story that the pilots had watched these UFOs. After these UFOs had been seen for about 2 weeks, they finally decided to get a little closer. And I guess, Russian jets are always doing incursions on the eastern seaboard or the north from time to time, and they're always acted upon and responding very quickly.
Right.
We wonder why this didn't happen in this case. So it raises a lot of questions, but they're great stories.
Yeah. Do you think, though, that they are actually seeing UFOs that are extraterrestrial in nature?
Well, even the United States Navy doesn't say that outright. It actually hedges its bets. It says these are unidentified aerial phenomena or UFOs for any other. They're not actually saying extraterrestrial. They're saying, let's take a good look at this. And I think as a scientist, we have to acknowledge this, that it's time to take a closer look. There's enough good reports by good observers. One would argue that pilots are pretty decent observers. If they're saying something they can't explain, maybe it's time to take a closer look.
And so why? Because as you study this, and in some of the things that these Navy pilots have said is they're looking at an object that is going down very, very low and then shooting up very, very high, unlike anything they've seen. You're saying we should be paying more attention, but why haven't we, though?
Well, that's a good question. I think there's a stigma that's still attached to UFOs. But, the United States Air Force finished its UFO study back in 1969 and 70. We haven't really had much input of what's going on. Now we have these Navy reports. In Canada, we actually have a better record of UFO sightings. We have a fairly good record of things going back many, many years. In fact, just this past year, we've had UFO reports by pilots. So I think some people are taking a closer look, and I think maybe the United States Navy has decided maybe we should take a look at this too.
So should we be asking ourselves, is there something more out there beyond the planets, beyond the black holes? And I know we're investigating other universes, but